first of all, there's the cars related things that people don't think about, like software. By software, it's not just full self-driving. People don't really think about this. There's Wi-Fi on every car, and they make you pay for the Wi-Fi.
That's what I'm saying. Just pay it.
Nah. With the recent crash, we gotta put every spare cent we have into Tesla stock. Okay. But not only that, but in the future, whether the car is driving itself or you are charging at a charging station, you have a lot of free time on your hands, and then you want to watch Netflix, you want to play games, and all of these things, they're gonna charge. If they're not charging you, they gotta charge Netflix to put Netflix in their car. They're gonna charge what's a gaming company? Nintendo or something. They're gonna charge. They're gonna charge Nintendo to put Super Mario Brothers onto their car to be able to be played by additional customers.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, there's so many revenue streams. It's like the equivalent of App Store on an iPhone. The potential is unlimited.
Okay.
Yeah, there are even people who specifically develop games that can only be played on a car.
Yeah.
I have a Tesla, and then I played a game where I gotta use my steering wheel as the actual the wheel for the racing cars.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I was envisioning that for the Super Mario Brother, like the Super Mario Brother carts.
Yeah, so entertainment, people are not thinking about, it's going to be pretty interesting. And they don't have to do anything. There's no cost. They just charge whoever want to put their product on there, and they just make free money. And then there's a supercharging piece too that people are not thinking about. Tesla is the only company, as far as I know, that putting high-speed charging network out there. And they're putting like essentially in 10 years, probably 90 to 95% of charging networks are gonna belong to Tesla. Imagine if somebody owns all of the gas stations in the world, how rich would that person be? And as charging station is equivalent to a gas station for an electric car, and Tesla owns all of the charging stations. A lot of money there. And insurance, they talk about this on the call.
So random. I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. The idea originated from, in the beginning, when Tesla cars came out, they have shortage of parts, they're expensive, and a lot of insurers don't want to give them a low fee. Like they charge Tesla's higher premium than all the other cars. And then the Tesla owners went to Elon Musk and complained and said, oh, you made the cars cheaper to operate because we don't have to buy gas, but then our insurance is triple the amount. So we end up paying more money. And so in the beginning, they were just trying to come up with their own insurance to make all the cars, to make it fair for all the cars. They didn't even try to make it their unique feature. But now, because they're putting so much radar and camera and all of these things onto the car, they collect so much data. They know your driving habits better than you. So it makes sense for them to price the insurance. For normal insurance companies, they price the premium they charge you based on an aggregate, meaning, are you over 40? Do you have a family? Do you smoke? Now, all of these big category of things, and they try to fit you into one category and be like, oh, you're high risk, so we're going to charge you high fee, or you're low risk. Whereas Tesla does is, they know when you apply on the brake, how much you apply on it, how often do you apply a day. They have a safety score. And then also what they're saying on the call too is that because they give you instant feedback, the drivers actually naturally become more safe, because when you accelerate fast and brake hard all the time, your safety score goes down and your insurance goes up. Like you can see it, it's instant. And because of that, people drive more carefully and also incentivize safe driving.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they customize the insurance for you, specific for your risk, and they help to incentivize your safe driving, and they are excited about it. I don't know how big a piece this will be, but just additional service that people not thinking about. And the last one is full self-driving. This is a crazy one, and you know. So full self-driving, they started the beta around October, like the last quarter. The beginning of the quarter, they started with a few thousand cars. In one quarter, they have pushed that out to 60,000 cars. So it's growing very fast. And Elon Musk said like a week ago that he's gonna push out the full self-driving to Canada in a month. So they're even expanding internationally. That shows a lot of confidence and progress. What Elon Musk said was, I will be shocked if full self-driving is not complete by this year. So by complete, he means the car will be able to drive itself better than the average human can.
What do you think about that?
It's
'Cause
interesting.
isn't that a knock on you? Like you're like, I'm a good driver, but now
Yeah.
something drives better than you.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm not average driver.
I know, you're a really good driver. I attest to that.
Yeah. So, but they're saying though is, on average, the car is going to drive better than the average drivers. And then afterwards, they're going to keep on improving. And then one day it's going to drive better than all drivers. So Elon Musk calls it the March of Nines. So most people think about full self-driving as a yes/no question, like, oh, can car drive itself? Yes or no? But it doesn't work like that. It works in a way that is in every 100 trips, how many car crash will happen? Maybe if all 100 trips are driven by humans, maybe 2 car crash will happen. All they have to do is get it down to 1. It doesn't mean it won't crash. It will crash one time, but it's much lower than if 100 humans were driving it. And the reason why it's called the March of Nines is because he said, I want it to be 99.99% safe to begin with, but we're going to try to aim for 99.99999% safe. So it's going to be pretty easily surpass how safe humans on average can drive. But then there's always room to be safer. Like it's infinitely room to improve. I think a simple analogy is planes. Planes crash. Like people hear about these horrific plane accidents, but planes crash so few times. Most people are okay with taking planes. You know, that's the idea to full self-driving later on. Once in 10 years or something, you're gonna hear a horrific accident by full self-driving, but most part they're gonna be safe on average. Yeah. And another thing he said is very interesting is that when full self-driving is developed, it's going to be pushed out to all cars. And that's going to be the biggest assets value added in history.
All cars.
Yeah, all cars. All of Tesla's cars.
Hmm.
Meaning, if your car was worth 50,000 before without full self-driving, now with the full self-driving, your car is going to be worth 500,000. So it's a transformational of such a huge amount of assets value. And to answer your previous question, you're like, oh, I want a cheaper compact car. What Elon Musk is saying is that with the full self-driving piece on the car, it's going to be the car itself, not the price, but the car itself is going to be worth so much, you'll be okay paying any price for it.
Well, now. I don't know if I would be okay.
Imagine if you didn't have apps on your iPhone, how much would you pay for the phone? You can only make calls and send text message. Probably wouldn't pay $200, you know.
Yeah.
But then it will be the equivalent of you asking, oh, can you bring the price of the phone down to 100? And Steve Jobs is saying, don't worry about that. When I add App Store in there, even I charge you 1,000, you'll be happy that you can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Elon Musk is saying, there was an analyst asked him, oh, when are you going to introduce this cheaper car? And he said, it doesn't matter. You're focusing on the wrong thing. Because if we can solve full self-driving, it's so much value added to the car, the 10,000 difference wouldn't make any difference.